everyone, my name is UndeadJinx and welcome to day 3 of 14 days with you. Yeah, literally, here's what he looks like with shorter hair! Makes me so upset. He looks so much more attractive with shorter hair. Oh my gosh, I can change it! What does his hair look like if it's long? I thought we had it selected as long, didn't we? Okay, hopefully they're all... I hope, please. I'm just gonna load back in instead of... and then do all of this stuff again instead of, loading. In hopes that his hair is short. Angel, you're back? I can't wait to see you again. It's so fun that it does that every time. Definitely makes things, creepy. That's for sure. Oh wait, I forgot. I'm gonna have to load anyways. Yeah, this looks like long hair to me. Yes. I just wish his hair would be short. I don't like it long. It looks silly. I think if it was a different style, it would look better. But because it's like short on the top and then it like jumps to being long, it looks a little weird for my tastes. This wasn't my bedroom, and this certainly wasn't my bed. Last I checked, my duvets were a patterned purple, a housewarming gift from Violet when I first moved into my apartment, not this dark shade of black. Confused, I rubbed the sleep from my eyes in order to fully take in the rest of the room, and just like that, memories from yesterday came flooding back. Oh, right. Ren offered to let me stay the night due to a freak storm that swept over Corlin Bay. It was sweet of him to do, and it had me wondering where he was right now. Was he still fast asleep, or perhaps he was already awake? Deciding there's no time like the present to find out, I stretch out the knots in my body, wake myself up fully, and jump out of bed. As soon as I walk out into the hallway, the mouth-watering scent of something sweet and sugary greets me, and it almost has my feet floating towards the kitchen. Curiosity, or perhaps hunger, takes over my body, and before I know it, I find myself navigating through the maze of Ren's stupidly large apartment. Speaking of the devil... No, his hair is still long! No, I was hoping I could change it! Oh, also, I guess if you click that you're under 18, they give you a version of the game that's for minors. How absolutely heartbreaking! I don't think I can change his hair! If only there was a way for us to, like, I don't know, at some point in the game be like, you should get a haircut. There, Ren stands in his kitchen, hunched over the stove with a spatula in one hand and what looks to be a recipe pulled up on his phone in the other. He just like me for real. He doesn't seem to notice my presence yet, so I take the opportunity to study him a little bit more. And although I could only see most of his backside and side profile, I could easily make out the concentrated look on his face as his gaze flits back and forth between his phone and the pan. But just when I think he's about to turn around, Ren lets out a surprise noise and immediately lifts the pan from the stove. Jeez! Sniffing the air, the smell of something burning invades my nostrils and has me retreating back into the living space for some fresh air. Wow, did Ren really manage to burn a pancake? Or maybe he just wasn't that confident in cooking. Aww. Regardless, seeing him put so much effort into something so trivial did manage to pull at my heartstrings. Deciding I've had my fill of watching Ren, I finally make myself known. Ooh. I kinda wanna hug him, but also I wanna scare him. Okay, wait. I just wanna see real quick if he... like, does he do anything on accident? Like, does he smack us if we scare him? Quietly tiptoeing behind the taller man and hiding behind the counter, I wait for the perfect opportunity to strike. That moment arrives once he turns around to scrape the burnt remnants of pancake into the bin, and before Ren has any time to react, I spring into action. Boo! Angel! You scared me! How long have you? Despite his flustered outburst, Ren doesn't seem to move away from the stove. Good morning, Angel. That's so funny. Okay, let's see what happens if we, hug him from behind. Strike before wrapping my arms around his waist and resting my head on his broad backside. Angel! Oh, he gets scared and flustered both times. Oh, but he looks angry. I didn't hear you. Despite his flustered outburst, Ren doesn't seem to move from my hold. In fact, he almost seems to melt and lean into my touch instead. Almost as if to confirm my thoughts, I feel him wrap one of his arms around my waist to pull me in for a brief hug. Good morning, Angel. Aw, this is so cute. I saw one of the comments on itch.io say, they were like, I was wondering where all the horror was, and then I played the game again and started rejecting him. So, I think we might have to to play this game again. Maybe I'll stream it and then we'll like reject him in the stream. There's also an NSFW version, which I would play if you guys want me to, but I don't know how YouTube would allow that. I guess I would just have to restrict my video, but I don't even know if we'll get to that point. I was going to surprise you with breakfast in bed. Sorry, did I take too long? It was like I flicked an invisible switch because all of a sudden, Ren was back to the usual timid personality that I'd grown to know. Aw, you don't have to go through all that trouble for me. It's fine, I really want to, really, here. Without giving me a second to spare, Ren conjures up a plate full of thick, fluffy pancakes from somewhere behind him, alongside a few toppings as well. I didn't manage to burn these ones, at least. Eat as much as you'd like. I'll have this one. He gestures to the burnt pancakes still stuck to the frying pan. No amount of washing and scrubbing would restore that pan to its former glory. Giving Ren a pitiful look, I deposit a few fluffy pancakes onto my own plate before offering the rest to him as well. Ren, you've made enough to feed an army. Why don't we share? It's okay, I made them all for you, exactly how you like them. Yeah, oh, and how do you know how I like my pancakes? Deciding to tease him a little, I throw the lighthearted accusation into the air and hope he'll catch it. Huh? Oh, I don't. I suppose... Don't people normally enjoy pancakes this way? I thought maybe... There he goes again, getting flustered beyond belief while his cheeks flush a deep shade of red. It really was adorable. Relax, I'm only teasing you. These pancakes are delicious, by the way. Oh, you were just joking. His mood immediately seems to perk up once he hears my compliment. You like them? Really? You're not lying? Then I'll make them for you again sometime. Only if you want, that is. It's no problem at all. I really don't mind. How about you just focus on eating first? Aren't you hungry? I snacked on a few pancakes while cooking them. Don't worry about me. You just eat. Do you want some different toppings? I'm sure I've got more strawberries in the fridge. Something inside me told me that Ren was lying about eating already, but I didn't feel like calling him out on it. I'm good for now, but thank you, really. Seemingly satisfied with my response, or lack thereof, Ren lets out a pleased hum and instead moves away to busy himself with washing the dishes. So he even washes dishes? Say less. It really is the little things. My gaze follows him, and I absentmindedly catch a glimpse at the clock on one of the shelves. 8 o'clock on the dot. Wait a second, 8 o'clock? I'm gonna be late for work. I've been wondering that. I'm like, so we spent yesterday all day with Ren. When do we go back to work? The game is called 14 Days with You. I have to go to work at some point. As if picking on my panicked behavior, Ren halts his movements and sends me a curious glance. Crap, I'm gonna be late to work again if I don't leave now. I still need to walk home and get changed and... Hey, it's okay, Angel, calm down. Look, your clothes from yesterday are washed and dry. Why don't you change into them, and then when you're ready, I can drop you off at work. Ren. There I go again, relying on this enigma of a man, and taking up too much of his kind hospitality. I was already overstaying my welcome by using his dryer and sleeping in his spare bed, but now here I was, eating his food and being exactly 5 minutes away from getting a lift in his car. He has a car? We've been walking everywhere. He really should be the one being called Angel instead of me. Thank you so much, I owe you my entire life. And I thought I was dramatic. Another date with you will do just fine. His soft smile is the last thing I see before I head back into the guest bedroom to change. But before I can make it 3 feet away, Ren's voice calls out to me once more. Oh, but I should warn you, I don't exactly drive a car. Are you gonna tell me this man has a driver, his own personal driver, that comes with his own personal car? Not his car, but like his driver's car? Turns out, Ren actually didn't own a car like I expected. Oh, he owned a sports motorcycle. That's kind of weird, Ren. That doesn't seem like his vibe, if that makes sense. I don't know. All black, sleek, and scary, but what surprised me most were the faded Always With You sticker decals that adorn the tank. So Ren was a fan of that webcomic as well. I always assumed the community was rather small, there wasn't much talk about the webcomic online, so it was nice to know someone else enjoyed it as much as I did. But just as I was about to bring the topic up, my vision goes dark as Ren places a helmet over my head with a smile. He fastens and adjusts the strap before motioning towards the back of his bike with an expectant look. Admittedly, I was a bit hesitant to hop on that thing, but Ren assured me that he'd tell me what to do and keep me safe the entire time. Daunting, couldn't even begin to describe how I felt when the engine turned on, and I was certain Ren had scratch marks with how tightly I was clinging to him, but I somehow came out of it unscathed. I even managed to bag myself a nice warm hoodie that smelled like Ren, even if its only purpose was to protect me from the wind and flying debris. And when we parted in front of the library with a friendly goodbye, Ren waited until I was inside the building before taking off. But I barely make it 3 feet inside before a mess of blonde hair enters my field of view and almost knocks me over. Oh, thank goodness she's alive. I've been wondering where she is, or was. Angel, there you are. Quick, I need your help. Eleanor's anxious demeanor catches me off guard, and I immediately do a sweep of the library for anything out of place. But I'm hardly given any time to take in my surroundings before Eleanor reaches for my arm and all but drags me behind the reception counter and towards a mountain of paperwork. Stacks upon stacks of books, files, newspapers, and manila folders cover the entire expanse of their desk, and for the briefest moment it almost resembled a messy archive repository rather than her workstation. What's all this? This was supposed to be sorted out yesterday. I swear I did it already. In fact, I know I did. I remember leaving it all in Conan's office before I left work yesterday, so you can imagine my surprise when I saw it back on my desk this morning. Eleanor seems genuinely concerned, especially with how she's flitting about and pacing back and forth in front of me. It was almost like she'd seen a ghost, and if I didn't know any better, I honestly would have believed it. Please help me. If Conan finds out I somehow messed up again, I don't know what will happen. Hey, don't worry, Elle, I'll help. And I doubt Conan will get mad. You know how he is. I suppose you're right. Her shoulders seem to visibly relax at my words, and she slumps into her chair with a heavy sigh. Thank you so much, Angel. Do you think you can manage to stack the books? I'll handle all these files. Without missing a beat, lest our boss magically appears somewhere behind us, we immediately get back to work. Time flies by quickly when I have my chatty coworker to keep me company. She fills me in on how the freak storm caught everyone off guard, and how some of the patrons shared the same idea of seeking refuge within the library as well. Apparently, Eleanor was the only one around to keep an eye on things, and from the sound of it, she seemed to take on leadership like a pro. Still, discussing her whereabouts had me thinking. That reminds me, where did you go the other day? The other day? What do you mean? You remember Ren, the pink-haired guy? Oh, Loverboy! Yeah, him. After we had that conversation with Ren, I never saw you afterwards. Oh, let me think. I watch as she inclines her head to the side to think, and all too quickly she snaps her fingers and gives me an affirmative nod. Oh, that's right. Well, this is a bit embarrassing, but I must have accidentally bumped into something while cleaning the stockroom the other day, and before I knew it, one of the shelves came tumbling down on me. It wasn't until a little later when Conan found me and pulled me out. You knocked over an entire shelf? Miss Creston? Knowing I was only teasing, Eleanor sends me a sheepish smile and bows her head to hide her reddening cheeks. What are the odds that Ren pushed the shelves on top of her? But now that I think about it, the shelves in the stockroom had always seemed relatively stable to me. My coworker wasn't known for her strength, so it didn't make any sense for it to topple over that easily. But thankfully, Eleanor elaborates more, almost as if she could hear the gears in my head working overtime. Well, I suppose it was a tad bit odd. I mean, I've worked in this library for more than 5 years now, and not once have I heard so much as a creak from those shelves. It does seem strange, yeah. Well, I have no doubt Conan will be installing new storage shelves soon. Oh, speaking of, did you notice the new awnings outside the library? I suppose that sudden storm from yesterday had something to do with it. In fact... Oh, maybe you heard it on the news already? I heard that all in the rain. Our conversation gets cut short as I watch Eleanor's attention drift behind me and towards the flashing red light above one of the shelves. Duty calls, I guess. As soon as she stands, I shoot her an appreciative smile, which she returns with an apologetic one of her own and meanders her way towards the aisle. Now left to my own devices, I go back to sorting through the books and putting them into separate piles. I manage to get a solid 10 minutes to myself before the sudden sense of unease creeps up on me. I felt as though someone was watching me, so I take a curious sweep across the vicinity and try to locate their source. But nothing seemed out of the ordinary. People were studying, others were quietly typing away at computers, and I could even spot the back of Eleanor's head from her spot near the fantasy fiction aisle. Nothing was out of place, yet that unnerving feeling of having eyes on the back of my head still lingered. In fact, now that I thought about it, it was eerily similar to the feeling I got when I was walking home a few days ago. Violet's words about someone breaking into my apartment echo in my mind before it all suddenly dawns upon me. The supposed person watching me. Could it somehow be linked? No, definitely not. Shaking my head, I try to dismiss those unsettling thoughts before they start to develop into something more sinister. There was no one watching me. After all, there was hardly anything impressive about me to warrant a stalker in the first place. I was as plain as they come, and if some loser really did break into my house, they left empty-handed. Yeah, they probably left empty-handed, but full-headed? I don't know. Like, they could have gathered intel on me. Like, okay, she likes this anime, this is her shoe size, this is her shirt size, this is what she has in her fridge, so obviously she likes this and that. These are the books on her bookshelf. This is what she looks like in her sleep. This is her favorite color. Like, ugh, still really freaky when you think about it. That alone clearly proved that I don't own anything worth stealing, except maybe my limited edition Attack on Giant figurines. But even then, I remember thoroughly inspecting my entire apartment once I got home. Nothing was out of place nor looked like it had been touched. Everything was as I left it that morning. Oh my god, we need to do a scan for cameras, secret cameras. What is it, like not like an RFID, what's it called? I want to get one. It's called a privacy pen, and it comes with a red light on the tip so you can like shine it around, or I don't know, like, yeah, shine it around your room. If you see like a red glowing circle anywhere in the room, that's how you know there's a secret camera there. And there's also like a, I don't remember what it does, but there's some sort of oh, I think it's like an alarm you set. So like you can set it like next to your door, set the alarm, and then if anyone comes into your room without you knowing, it will set off the alarm, because like anytime it gets like pushed, it sets off an alarm and you have to deactivate it. Jesus Christ. So I really want one, especially given how much traveling I do. Although, I don't know, maybe after I finally move back to the States, I won't be doing much traveling. It kind of sucks, I'm gonna miss Japan. This is so sad. Yeah, it still doesn't explain why I was feeling this way. Fear and apprehension seemed to overwhelm my senses too much that my mind barely registers the sound of something rustling, and I looked down to see that I had been worrying the papers in my hands for the past few minutes. I had looked down to see that I had been worrying the papers in my hands for the past few minutes. Oh, like, is that like doing this? Doing this? It's probably hard for you guys to see. Ignore this. This is my stuff from Tiny Bookshop. I can't like show you guys like this. You guys ever use a worry stone? I'm like that. Have I been stressing out that badly? Jeez, I really was letting all this paranoia get the best of me. Shaking my head once more, I decide it's best not to let those thoughts fester and grow into something far bigger than it should be. No one broke into my apartment and no one was watching me right now. I was making a mountain out of a molehill, and nothing was going to scare me. Kiara. Hello! Ah! Whoa! Instead of some creepy stalker dressed in all black, I was met with blonde hair and expensive-looking clothing. Was this the person I felt watching me? It was difficult to make out her words over the loud, rapid sounds of my heartbeat, so I tried my best to calm down before responding. So sorry, I didn't notice you come in. Ahem. Welcome to the Corlin Bay Library. Can I help you with anything? I hope I sounded professional enough, though I'm sure there was still a lingering sense of fear in my words and a facial expression to match. But it starts to dissipate as I take in the woman's appearance. Her green eyes seem oddly familiar to me, but what gives it all away is how the woman slightly inclines her head to the side as she looks over me with concern. Is this what's-her-name's, like, sibling or something? Surely not. Was that? I don't suppose. Are you Kiara? Eleanor's told me all about you. Eleanor, that's her name. In the flesh, I'm actually here to visit my darling sister, would you believe? But now that you've piqued my interest, she shoots me a harmless wink and rests her hand atop the reception counter. Wow, even the clanging of her jewelry sounds expensive, and I can't help but look at her in awe. Tell me, what else has Nori said about me? She really, really admires you. She loves your taste in fashion. She wants her jacket back. She finds you annoying. I don't want to lie. And also, I don't know, is Kiara, like, do we hate Kiara or do we like Kiara? Because if we like her, then I'll say she really, really admires you. But if we hate her, then I'm gonna be like, she wants her jacket back. And I don't want to say she really, really admires you if we hate her, because then she's gonna be like, why the fuck would you say that? I hate her. She loves your taste in fashion. Haha, she better. I didn't pursue a career in fashion for nothing. Did you know I designed her handbag? It's from my latest spring collect. Oh, Angel! As if summoning Eleanor herself, she emerges from somewhere behind me and joins us at the front desk. Kiara, what are you doing here? There she is. What, am I not allowed to see my little sis? I'm at work right now. You should have texted me in advance. But I wanted to surprise you, and look, I come bearing gifts. At that, Kiara places down a few bags branded with high-end prints and designer logos. Sorry, darling. If I knew I'd be meeting you here, I would have brought extra. But I'm sure there's something for you in one of these bags as well. Pick whatever Eleanor doesn't want. I genuinely wished I could be rich enough to say something like that. That's real. The sisters seemed fully engrossed in each other's presence, so I leave them alone so that they can handle their moment to catch up. After all, I didn't know how long it'd been since Eleanor and Kiara had seen each other. Oh, what if that was also me just choosing their lore again? Like, if I didn't select that option, we wouldn't have gotten a bunch of gifts. Like if I said she wants her jacket back and she's like, I actually came back with her jacket. After all, I didn't know how long it had been since Eleanor and Kiara had seen each other, and the mountain of work in front of me wasn't going to sort itself out in the meantime. But before I can silently slip away and sit back down, a tattooed arm boxes me in and commands my attention. And for the second time today, the expensive smell of wealth and luxury floods my senses, only this time I knew the person it belonged to. Oh, so he's also why is everybody in this game rich as hell? Dang, who are they? Who are they? Dang, who are they? Seemingly out of nowhere, Teo appears with that familiar smirk on his face and an unbothered drawl in his tone. He's absolutely shameless with how his eyes take in both the sisters' appearance. Disgusting. Before he's leaning more of his weight onto his arm and shooting me an expectant look. Don't even think about it, Teo. Trust me, you don't want to know what I'm thinking about right now. Given how he leans even closer to my side with a sultry grin, I end up believing his words. After all, I wouldn't put it past Teo to think of multiple ways to cause a scene in his free time. Not jealous, are you? Why would you even... Whether or not it was my sudden outburst that captures their attention, Eleanor and Kiara finally seem to notice us and thank my lucky stars for a chance to escape this conversation. Perhaps I could sneak off to the employees' laundry. Everyone is busy talking. I'm sure... You work here too? I've got a few things here that you could check out. Despite my disgust at Teo's blatant flirting, Eleanor seems to be eating it up with a slight blush on her cheeks. Oh, actually, I'm just visiting. I don't work here, but little Nori over here does. I'm sure she can help you out. Despite her friendly tone, Kiara seems to be passively shutting down Teo's attempts at flirting and redirecting it towards Eleanor instead. That's awesome. Yet Teo doesn't seem to be picking up on it, of course. Instead, choosing to lean a little more against the counter so that his muscles flex under his form-fitting shirt and crosses his ankles. You're not from around here, are you? I'd remember a face like yours. The name's Theodore, by the way, but cuties like you can call me Teo. Charming. I'm Kiara. And no, I'm only in town for a few weeks. I'm visiting some relatives and finding some inspiration before I head back home. Inspiration, huh? I could show you around. Well, aren't you fun? What about my baby sister? Huh? But I'm older than you. Is she actually? Come on, live a little, Nori. You always tell me how you're holed up at work all the time. I suppose, but... Looks like you're in need of a bit of fun. I can help with that. Have either of you been to the aquarium yet? It opened recently. They're gonna go to an aquarium? Not yet, but I'll give you or offer a pass, I'm afraid. Aquarium's not your style? You're not my style. Ouch. Oh, I love her sister! But I don't like that despite the low blow to his ego, Teo didn't look the least bit offended. In fact, he seemed to thrive off of it. But as if fate felt the urge to intervene, Kiara's phone suddenly goes off and startles everyone. Sorry, give me a second, I need to take this call. She slips away before any of us can have the chance to respond, and without missing a beat, Teo immediately takes her previous spot beside Eleanor. And what about you? Me? Don't see anyone else around, princess. Oh, well, I mean, I think it'd be fun, but I suppose it would be a bit awkward if it's just you and me. You heard it all. As if finally acknowledging my presence, Teo turns to me with an expecting look on his face. Why don't you tag along? I'll even see if Leon wants to join the fun. It'll be like a double date. At that, Eleanor visibly seems to relax a little bit. Okay, like I'll go, but I'm not gonna bring Leo. At that, Eleanor visibly seems to relax a little bit. I spare a quick glance in her direction, and I can pick up on the barest hint of hope in her eyes. Wait, she wanted to go on a date with Teo? I don't know, Elle. What? Got better things to do? Look, I'll pay for everything. I can even pick you up as well if you want. Sound good? Not that I'd ever openly admit it to Teo, but his offer was finally starting to sound tempting. I mean, free food and a free outing? It was too good to refuse. However, I have a boyfriend. Sure, why not? Fine, but I'm doing this for Eleanor. Fine, but only if Leon will be there. No thanks. Oh. Let's say fine, but I'm doing this for Eleanor. Eleanor seems to brighten at that, and her smile just about makes it all worth it. Atta gal knew you were gonna check it out on us. Then it's settled, Leon. Does it have to be Leon? Shit. Someone might die this playthrough. Oh, but it's tomorrow after work, so that's gonna be on day 4. Ooh. Leon and I will meet you both here after work tomorrow. What time do you finish? Around 7. There you are, Angel. I didn't realize you were busy. Finally, as if someone had heard my prayers this time, Conan emerges from somewhere behind me. What was up with that today? And offers me an escape from the current conversation. And without missing a beat, I turn towards my savior and spare him a thankful glance. I make sure to silently apologize to Eleanor as well, clearly uneasy with the thought of leaving her alone with Teo. But she seems all too happy with how she subtly shoos me away with a hand behind her back. Sure, I can slip away for a moment. Do you need something? Just need an extra pair of hands to sort through some boxes. But if you're busy, I'll manage it by myself. It's fine, I could use a breather. Okay, so perhaps I didn't need to announce that so joyfully. With warm cheeks, I turn back towards Eleanor and Teo and send them one final apologetic look before following after Conan. Apologies for this. I didn't mean to steal you from your friends. This happened to be sorting through all the books a coworker managed to knock over this morning and making sure they were all in the correct category before putting them back onto the cart. It felt eerily similar to what I had been previously doing with Eleanor, only this time there weren't any Teo-shaped annoyances to keep me company. But man, I swear, Conan had to be the only boss who'd be perfectly fine with their employees slacking off to talk with their friends instead. Yeah, I was gonna say, anytime I would chat with my friends when I worked at the hotel here, I would get in trouble. They'd get so mad at me. They'd be like, "Your break ended 2 minutes ago!" And I'm like, bruh, literally my only job is to clean, like, rooms. Also, most of the time, like, literally, it's so weird. Like, half the time as a housekeeper, you're like, it's weird. At least in my case, you're like free half the time, and then you do your work, and then you're free again, and then you do your work, and then you're free again. I think checkout was at 10 a.m. and the later checkouts were at like 1, and I would get to my job at like 7:30 or 8. So literally I had like actual hours at the start of my day where I had to wait until people checked out of their rooms so that I could go and service them. And you can't knock on people's doors and ask if they want room service hella early in the day. I mean, you can, and I did, but that was definitely awkward to do on the weekends. Like, I would prefer to just do that later if I could. But usually you could get that kind of stuff done like at the beginning of the day because most people were gone for work or school. But like also half the time people have do not disturb on their doors. So it's like you have 3 hours to prepare your cart, which takes like 2 seconds because you're supposed to prepare the cart the day before. Take your cart and then go down the hallway to service all your rooms. Which I said half the time they have D&Ds. And it literally takes like 5 to 10 minutes to service a room too. Cause like if you have shit everywhere on the floor and I can't walk around, I can't service your room. So that's a room I don't have to do. If you have stuff on your bed, I can't make your bed. So it's like, I empty the trash cans and that's it. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So I literally would have nothing to do. Like, at the beginning of my work shift, except literally wait for people to check out. And then if people didn't check out until later, I would have to wait even longer. And it's like, I'm literally doing nothing. And actually it really kind of sucks because half the time people have to check in at like 3 p.m. And it's like, okay, so I'm spending half of my day waiting. And then I have to be super, super busy and clean a ton of rooms between like 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. And then I'm not supposed to get off until 5, but once everyone's checked into their rooms at 3, all of my rooms are clean. So then I'm stuck doing nothing for the last 2 hours of my day. And I know you're supposed to like clean your cart, reorganize your cart, restock your cart, fold stuff in like the housekeeping room. But also more times than not, everything's already done because the people who were there the day before have already done it. So unless you get a delivery of like freshly cleaned like linens and stuff, there's nothing really to fold. And if there is stuff to fold, more times than not, there was another housekeeper in the same closet with you. So like you're both doing like the work super quickly. I cannot tell you how many times I've left early, had coworkers who left early. I actually enjoyed staying until the very end of my shift, but a lot of my coworkers like to leave at the same time, so we would all just leave together at like 3:30 or something. He hadn't said a word about Teo, and possibly Kiara too, depending on how long he'd been standing behind me, and seemed more than okay with us huddling around the reception desk. Deciding not to push my luck, I returned Conan's off look with one of my own. It's fine, don't worry about it. I've been meaning to ask you something, actually. Has everything been going alright with you? Nothing shady has been happening lately? What do you mean? You haven't heard the news? There's been a few murders happening in the Bay Area recently. Admittedly, I had been worried for your safety as of late. You live by yourself, correct? Yeah, but I've recently had a friend stay with me. Now that I think about it, he's also been concerned for my safety. That's good. I'm glad. Listen, if something ever happens... Conan awkwardly... Oh, even Leah was, like, concerned for her safety. That's 3 people. Conan awkwardly glances over his shoulder before returning his gaze back to me. Nothing but sincerity stares back, and I find myself in a stunned silence. Here, it's my personal number. But due to the lack of clarification, I ended up sending him a confused look instead of thanking him. I know you've only recently moved back to Cortland Bay, but you've yet to put someone down as your emergency contact. I'm worried you won't have anyone to call in case something does happen. I want to make sure you're safe at all times. Oh, thank you, Conan. Of course. He's not a potential love interest, is he? I would have never thought. I'd rather not. This is my father. He gives my shoulder a gentle pat before resuming his original task. The conversation falls back into an easy, comfortable silence, and I pocket his number before pouring all my focus towards the books laid out in front of me. Felix! When Rem goes through our pockets, he's not gonna like what he finds. The rest of my shift passes by uneventfully, and at some point, Eleanor informs me that Kiara had to leave for a work-related matter and wouldn't be coming back for a few days. She even asked Eleanor to give me her number as well, alongside mentioning something about sharing more embarrassing stories about little Nori the next time we talk, whatever that meant. Still, it was really nice to finally meet Eleanor's sister, and it was even kinder of her to give me a fountain pen before she left. Or, at least I assumed it was Kiara. I found the expensive-looking box sitting on my desk once I returned, and I wasted no time in opening it up and examining the contents. The pen itself appeared to be made from extremely high-quality materials, and the cursive A&R logo looked rather fancy underneath the light. I made a mental note to get something for Kiara as well before pocketing the pen next to Conan's number and packing up my belongings for the day. But as I'm slipping out of the library's back door, I notice a familiar broad backside, a patch of blonde hair, and a bright red patterned shirt standing next to the alley's entrance. Oh, great. I thought we were going to the aquarium tomorrow. As if sensing my presence, Leon turns around and greets me with one of his familiar warm smiles. G'day, Darl. Been a while? I like how I said that. He sends me a toothy grin before making space for me within the group. Eleanor greets me with a delicate wave, and Teo looks moderately annoyed as usual. Teo is introducing me to Eleanor and yearning about his little outing he has planned. Oh, yarning. Hey, how come you never told me you've never been to the aquarium before? Makes sense though. I reckon it was built a bit after you left the bay, right? So I doubt you have had time to check it out. Pretty much. Most of my free time has been taken up with moving and unpacking boxes. I couldn't help but find myself agreeing with his words. It was crazy how Leon seemed to know me so well, even though we hadn't had a chance to speak to each other like this in a while. I certainly hope Leon's not another love interest, because I can't. I cannot. The current selection, I do not like. Leon is quite nice. I don't know, he's giving me like boy in K-pop group, and I don't like that. I mean, it's cute, but it's not for me. I think Teo is a gorgeous specimen, but his attitude and the way he treats women is disgusting, so he's got to stay far away. Our boss? I don't know, I hadn't even considered him an option, so he will not be an option. So literally right now, Ren is the best option we have, and his only cons are that his hair is long and he's a stalker. That's about it. Oh, and murder, probably. He's probably the reason why we have murders in this bay. But, like, that's about it. So, like, obviously, my only option is Ren. But I'm curious to see what it's like. What about you, Nori? I couldn't help but let Kiara's nickname for her slip. Oh, oh, yes, I'm the same. Hehe, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I've never been to an aquarium before, so this should be fun. Well, here's hoping the weather will be more lenient tomorrow. It was pouring down buckets yesterday, wasn't it? Did you make it home all right, Sunfish? All of a sudden, that eerie feeling comes back, and I resist the urge to turn around and look behind me. I only now notice that I've had my back to the dark alleyway this entire time. That's freaky. Angel? Sorry, what was that? You alright? Looks like you've seen a ghost. I watch as Leon looks behind me before glancing at Teo and Eleanor for what seems like reassurance. No, it's nothing. I guess I've had a long day at work. Now I get it. Feeling tired? You should head home then. Please, don't let us keep you longer than we should. Want me to drop you off? Car's out front? As much as I appreciated everyone's concern, I honestly wanted to be left alone right now to clear my head, and going on a walk would surely do me wonders. Besides, it was still somewhat bright out and there were people around, so I had no reason to worry about my non-existent stalker. I also heard that some new merchandise arrived at the local manga store, which I had been meaning to check out, so that would surely help me get my mind off things. It was along my route home anyway. What harm could possibly come out of a quick detour? At that thought, I quickly placate everyone's concern before bidding my goodbyes and heading off alone down the street. It wasn't until I got far enough away from the library that eerie feeling started to dissipate. Very interesting. The nostalgic smell of comic books and plastic greets me as I enter the all-too-familiar manga store, and I immediately beeline my way towards the anime aisle. I was set on collecting the last remaining accessories for my mini Attack on Giants display, and I wasn't about to let my paranoia get in the way of that. But as I was passing through a few of the aisles, I noticed a familiar shade of pink near the cashier. Is that Ren? Oh my god. It is! Wow. He looks better with his hair pulled back. Wait, what is that? No way. He has a Is that real? Is that a real tattoo? Or is that fake? It says Angel! I didn't even notice his motorbike out front, if he even brought it up. Up until now, I always assumed he walked everywhere. And even though he was wearing a mask and had his hair tied back, I could easily make out his large lanky frame anywhere. Sneaking closer, I notice how he appears to be in a hushed conversation with the manager about something confidential, if their closeness was anything to go by, before he places a thick manila envelope in her hands and leans back. Oh, I wonder what's inside. Was Ren trading in some old manga? Oh, what if it's Attack on Giants? Though, if it is AOG, then I'm not really sure why he'd want to trade them in. With how popular the franchise is currently, there isn't much of a high demand. If anything, there's too much consumable media being produced right now. Everywhere I go, all I see is Haruko, and I wouldn't have it any other way. And speaking of my beloved Haruko, now that I got a better look at Ren, isn't that the limited edition spring Haruko hoodie? I thought they weren't selling them anymore. But just as I'm about to make myself known to ask questions, Ren is already turning on his heel and slipping behind the large racks filled with cosplays and gaming-themed apparel. Interesting. His height does him no favors though, as I watch his head peek out from the top while he bobs and weaves his way towards the side entrance. At that very moment, my phone decides to jump scare me by suddenly going off, and it startles me enough to temporarily forget about Ren. Oh, I forgot about Moth. Letting out a string of curses, I reach into my back pocket and pull it out, only to see Moth's name flash on the screen. With a grin, I accept the video call and hold the phone up to my face. Can you imagine? It's like those movies where someone's like, hey, I'm just out here in the Christmas market. And then it's your family on the other end, and they're like, oh, hey, when are you coming over for the Christmas dinner? And I'm like, it's just been so busy. I just had a meet cute with a handsome man, and it's snowing outside, and I had to stay at his house because I couldn't make it home. And I don't even know if you guys can see my phone. This is the vibe. You guys know. Don't you guys watch Hallmark movies like that? It's like weird because they're trying to I don't know, implement real life into movies, and it's like, I don't think anyone actually does that. Like, straight up, if someone video calls me and I do not have a place to set my phone down, I'm not doing this. They're not getting this from me. They're getting this. They're getting this all day. Yeah, what are you up to? And I'm just going about my business, probably playing a game. I'm like, yeah, what are you up to? Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh yeah, your dinner looks great. Oh, look, your cat. You want to see mine? There's my cat. Yeah, she's lovely. That's all you're gonna get from me. Now, if I am near my desk and I'm near this, you're probably gonna get one of these. Oh, or I'm just gonna set my phone down somewhere else so that you can see my whole face, but I won't be holding my phone. Because why? You will not catch me. Why? I'll only do this if I'm taking a selfie, and then at that point, I'm not even doing one of these, I'm doing one of these. You guys know. You know the vibe, right? You understand? Tell me you understand. Hey! Listen, now isn't really a good time to talk, but... Oh! This is Moth! This is Moth? Moth is gorgeous. What the hell? Is Moth a potential love interest? I'm just kidding. This is our bestie. But Moth is so pretty, what the hell? Oh no, that's terrible. Get well soon, or sorry for your loss, or whatever. Anyway, listen. Guess who won an all-paid holiday trip overseas? Me, that's who. It's been a while since I'd last seen Moth's face, but they appeared just as boisterous as I remembered them. And for free, too. I mean, okay, yeah, I still need to pay for the food and stuff, but... Hey, where are you? I'm in a manga store. Hold on. Can we backtrack for a second? You got a free ticket to where? Is that a Haruko figurine? Can you get it for me? Please, 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 please? Moth. I'll pay you back. Promise, I'll pay for shipping too. It's so cute. Look at this. Look at his little outfit. Look at his tiny little jacket and his tiny little shoes. With an eye roll, I reach behind me for the figurine, but not before picking up the accessories I originally came in here for, and slowly make my way towards the cash register. Once Moth's hoots and hollers calm down, I gently try to coax them back onto the original topic. All right, you asked where I'm going. Well, it's actually a surprise. I think Moth's gonna visit us. So that means we are in Australia, and Moth is definitely in America. Seriously? A good surprise though. Hey, you're still in court. Why is it all funky like that? For a brief moment, their screen starts to lag and a loading symbol pops up. Moth? I'll be in out if that's okay with you. Their voice cuts in and out, giving an almost robotic effect before the screen eventually fades to black. With a heavy sigh, I end the call and shoot Moth a text to let them know that they've been disconnected again. But as soon as I absentmindedly look out the window, I notice a blurry outline of Ren's figure sitting on a bench outside, busying himself with what looked like a phone in his hands. That's crazy. He hacked into our phone! Next! The cashier's voice pulls me away from my thoughts, and I quickly pay for my purchases, all while sparing not-so-secretive glances at Ren from beyond the shop's window to make sure that he's still there. It was strange, but I couldn't help but hope I'd get a chance to catch up with him on my way out. I know it'd barely been more than a few hours since I last saw Ren, but I still wanted to thank him for letting me stay at his place for the night. And for washing my clothes, cooking me breakfast, and driving me to work. The cashier pulls my attention away by handing me a bag and receipt, and I give them my thanks before making a beeline towards the exit. But just as the door swings open, I notice that Ren had already left? He was no longer on the bench where I last saw him, and I couldn't spot him on either end of the street either. It was like he was never there in the first place, and I almost find myself wondering if I had imagined the whole thing. It was a shame, though. I really wanted to see him and his charming smile again. But Cortland Bay isn't that big of a coastal town in retrospect, so I'm sure we were bound to run into each other again sooner or later. Did we even exchange, like, socials? Or numbers? I mean, I literally met Ren at my own workplace because we shared a few common interests in books. His just so happened to be more about native flora. That kind of stuff wasn't something either of us could control, and I was more likely looking too deep into it. Still, it felt strange all the same. Oh well. There was no use dwelling over it. I was bound to run into Ren again at some point, regardless if I had a way to contact him or not. So we don't have his number. Well, I guess we do. I don't know why we can't just message him. It was beginning to get dark once I arrived back in my apartment complex, so I quickly ushered my way up to the staircase and onto my floor. But as I'm making the long trek up the stairs, I bump into someone lingering around the corner and almost end up tumbling down. Whoa! What the hell? Olivia. Hey, watch it! Glancing up, I notice that it's the cashier from yesterday who was glaring daggers at me while I try to steady myself with the railing. That was Olivia, wasn't it? She makes no effort to help me, though she does move to the side in order to give me space at the top of the stairs. It's then when I take notice of the giant basket of laundry in her arms, and it makes me wonder if she was actually going to carry it all the way to the laundromat by herself. Clearly, she was stronger than she looked. So sorry, I didn't mean to. Olivia cuts her off once the severity of the situation finally sinks in, before she sucks in her cheek and lets out an exasperated chuckle. Seriously, what could she possibly find so funny about the situation? Of all the places, a staircase, really? Your boyfriend sure has a messed up sense of humor. What? Yeah, what does he have to do with anything? No, it's nothing. Look, I didn't mean to knock you down the staircase like that. I've got a lot on my mind lately and I wasn't looking where I was going. Hey, it happens. It most certainly didn't. But Olivia seemed to be having a rough day, so I wasn't going to make things worse by being rude to her. She already looked on edge for some reason, especially with how she kept sneaking glances over both of our shoulders. Okay, she's saying he has a sense of humor because he did threaten her, I'm guessing, which I think I guessed correctly. He threatened to push her downstairs. And if we're here in the stairway with her, or stairwell, I don't know. If we're there with her and she's on a flight of stairs and we bump into her, she's probably gonna be a little freaked out and be like, oh my god, he is so morbid about his humor. She's probably thinking, oh my god, this guy threatened me and now his girlfriend is literally walking upstairs with me, or she's going down and I'm going up. So of course that's why she would say he has like an interesting sense of humor. She already looked on edge for some reason, especially with how she kept sneaking glances over both of our shoulders. It was almost like she was looking for something, and I would have asked her about it if she didn't beat me to it. So where's that boyfriend of yours anyway? Not looking around the corner like a creepy psychopath, is he? Who? Seriously, your boyfriend? The guy you visited the souvenir shop with the other day? Oh, Ren? He's not my boyfriend. We're just... I've never seen that man in my life. I love that these are options for us. I definitely want to click all of these ones, like, towards the end of our playthrough or something. He's just a guy I'm interested in. Actually, he is my boyfriend. Well, I mean, we already said that he's not our boyfriend, so I think to make it less awkward, I'm gonna say he's just a guy I'm interested in. You're interested in someone like him? I feel sorry for you. Excuse me? Nothing, just the ramblings of a stressed out university student. Anyway, I'm in a rush, so please move. Clearly done with the conversation, Olivia sidesteps me and starts to make her way down the stairwell. But she only manages to get a few feet away before she turns around once more. Resting her laundry basket on her hip, she looks up at me with an unreadable look. You live on this floor as well? Then it looks like we're going to be seeing each other more often. Oh, I guess she just moved in. But just some neighborly advice, if you plan on bringing Ren around, keep it down. I'm not afraid to file a noise complaint. And with that, she disappears around the corner. What was that all about? Deciding it wasn't worth my time to mull it all over, I slowly make my way towards my apartment. I wonder if she would have told us if we said, like, I don't know who that man is. Not bothering to turn on the light, I toss my keys into the tray, shrug off my jacket, and unceremoniously drop myself onto the couch. Today had been a whirlwind of events and emotions, and the worst part was that it hadn't even ended yet. I still had an hour or so left before I could consider any dinner plans, so I figured I might as well spend the evening winding down in the meantime. All too quickly, an idea pops into my head, and I reach over to grab my phone. Invite someone over? Don't invite someone over. Ooh. This could be potentially disastrous, if Ren finds out. So, I don't know. But let's invite someone over. I'm bored. Figuring it'd be best to catch up with someone instead of stewing in my apartment alone, I pull up my contacts list and idly scroll through it. Conan's number immediately captures my attention, being the newest addition to my contacts and sitting near the top of the list, before my curiosity begins to stray once more. Without so much as hesitating, I tap on that person's number and bring the phone closer to my ear. Ren, Moth, Violet, Eleanor, Conan, someone else. Oh my god. I feel like it, I don't know. It gives bad vibes to click these ones. I don't know, but I kind of want to invite him over. Well, we definitely can't invite Moth over, but we can, like, chat with her. Wait, I want to click someone else and see if we have any options. Oh! Jay, Leon, Teo, Olivia, Kiara. Well, Kiara's not here. This is interesting. We have so many options. I'm gonna stick with Ren, because this playthrough we're, like, romancing him. In a future playthrough, I definitely want to invite someone else over, and I think the most controversial person to invite over to Ren would be Teo. So, we'll probably invite Teo over next time. Odd, I don't remember scrolling all the way down to view his contact details. Nevertheless, I find myself tapping on Ren's name and bringing up the phone closer to my ear. He picks up almost immediately, and I can practically feel the excitement and Mo-flowers expel from the screen and hit me in the face. And before I know it, Ren is agreeing to come over as soon as he can, so I quickly turn the lights back on, clean the place up a bit, and anticipate his arrival. Barely 10 minutes pass before I hear a loud knocking at my front door. That is so fast! Almost immediately, I leap to my feet and unlock it with a smile. Can we cut his hair? It means we're in the same outfit. Also, where's... that's why he wears the frickin'... What's this stuff called? Oh, a turtleneck. That's why he wears a turtleneck. So we can't see the tattoo with our name on it! On him. Ren, hey, come on in. I see you're still wearing my hoodie. I also brought some takeout with me, if that's okay. I figured you hadn't had a chance to eat yet. Whoa, how'd you know? Oh, wow. He would be like the perfect guy if he wasn't crazy! Not him anticipating my needs. God damn. Whoa, how'd you know? It's like you can read minds or something. Barely registering the look on his face, I gently coax Ren into my living room. He makes himself at home on my couch, and I bring a few utensils from my kitchen for the food he so kindly bought. Oh, by the way, were you at the manga store earlier today? I thought I saw you there. Yeah, I know you did. I mean, because I saw you as well. After I left, I noticed you through the window. Well, that seemed to confirm my thoughts about Ren sitting outside the store. Snapping my fork into the food, I take a bite and let out a pleased hum from all the delicious flavors dancing on my tongue. Really? You should have said hi. I thought about it, but you seemed really focused on something. And then you got a call, so... yeah, that was my friend Ma. Oh, that reminds me, Ren. At that, his full attention is immediately on me, takeout long forgotten as the taller male moves in his seat to face me. I remember you saying that you like Attack on Giants too, right? I can introduce you guys. They're a die-hard fan of the anime, and I'm sure they wouldn't mind. Oh, Ma is the one who's interested? What? Does he think that I'm only into AOG because of Moth? That's weird. Almost shyly, he turns his head away and meekly scratches at his jaw. I don't mind, but I wasn't expecting Ren to be so hesitant, and I suddenly felt bad for springing this onto him, without considering how he might feel as well. Hey, no need to force yourself. If you don't want to, that's okay. I just thought it'd be nice to let them have someone else to talk to, you know? Moth has trouble making friends, and most of the time they're only talking to me. Yeah, that's too bad. He sends me a sad look, coupled with a frown before returning to the plate of food before him. Although I was thinking about Moth, I didn't really want to force Ren into befriending someone if he didn't want to. Besides, maybe he has trouble forming friendships too? It was a little difficult to keep up with his sudden personality shifts, but at this point it was our friendship. I was starting to get used to it. Deciding to lift the mood a little, I try to change the subject with something more lighthearted. So, the rats, huh? Really, Angel? That's the first thing you could think of? How is that any less awkward than what we were currently? Actually, I didn't want to say anything, but I think I saw one on my way up here. It probably made itself a home in that busted elevator shaft. Seriously? Wait, do you think you could come with me and explain it to my landlord? I swear, your landlord isn't doing anything about it? No! I collapse into the sofa with a dramatic sigh. I honestly don't know what they're doing, if I'm being honest. I've sent so many complaints, but I haven't received a reply for any of them. Really? Have you considered just moving? Quite a few times, actually, but I'm not sure what I like. My neighbor's friendly. This place has its charms. The location is nice. The location is nice. It was overwhelming at first, but honestly, I think the low rent and location are the only things stopping me from considering other places to live. I see. Then it's not so bad here after all, right? I mean, as long as there's no creep trying to break in and steal all your laundry or something. You got a point there. I think I'd take the rats over a laundry-stealing intruder any day, but now that I think about it, who would want to break in just to steal dirty clothes? While I'm sure Ren only meant it as a joke, it was oddly specific. Oh, I just figured that's what normal creep behavior would be. You have a great sense of fashion, and I see your TV is still here, so... Haha, yeah, I guess it would be difficult to lug that down a staircase. They probably should have asked the rats for help. Again, with the rats? I couldn't help but let out a laugh at his corny inside joke. Wait, since when did we have our own inside jokes? Now that I've really thought about it, the banter I shared with Ren seemed very easygoing as of late, despite how serious the topics were supposed to be. I had been worrying all day about this supposed stalker, yet here I was, casually brushing it off as a carefree joke. Still, is everything alright in your neighborhood? I've heard about the murders going on recently. Well, no one has gone missing, so I suppose that's good, right? I won't lie though, it is kind of scary knowing that there's a killer out there. Yeah, I suppose so. But are you really okay with staying here alone? Doesn't that scare you? I'm sure I'll be fine. I've got my neighbor, Violet, and if it's really necessary, I'm sure I could stay with Leon for a while, and to say, you could always stay with me instead. I mean, you've already stayed the night at my place, so it wouldn't be a bother if you wanted to come over again. I'd honestly sleep better at night knowing you're safe. And I always carry a spare keycard with me anyway. If you'd like, you can hold on to it in case something... I appreciate the offer, Ren, but I can't accept that. It's fine. Besides, you said yourself that living here can get overwhelming. If this can help you in any way, I don't know. Keep it, just in case. I mean, you never know. What if that creep breaks into your apartment again? If that happens, you could come and stay with me this time. I could keep you safe just like the first time you invited me over. The lobby is full of security, and they won't let anyone upstairs without proper clearance. Plus, I don't have rats. I won't lie, Ren's offer honestly was tempting. The idea of having somewhere to go in case things got bad was a comforting thought, but something just didn't sit right with me. I know I've been spending a lot of time with Ren recently, but I still wasn't all that familiar with him. And sure, I might have developed a bit of a crush on the tall guy, but I wasn't going to be swayed by my feelings. Still, the offer really was tempting, and it wasn't like he was asking me to move in with him or anything. Now that I thought about it, Ren was the one giving me access to his home. It wasn't like I was the one in danger here. He was trusting me enough not to be some kind of crazed killer, much like the one on the news. I can't help but crack a small smile at the somewhat morbid thought, and Ren seems to take it as a positive sign. But before I can dwell on it any further, I watch as he leans over to reach into his back pocket and pulls out something that resembled a plastic card. Ren wastes no time handing it to me, and I take a moment to look it over. His address and unit number are neatly printed at the top, and some kind of obscure barcode is on the bottom. However, the apartment name and logo in the top right corner are what really captures my attention. Sunshine Hills? I almost forgot he lived in the nicer parts of Corland Bay. They were known for their high-rise apartments and fancy penthouses, so I'm sure Ren never had to worry about rat infestations or deadbeat landlords. Though, the more I thought about it, the more willing I was to accept his offer. Maybe it wouldn't be such a bad idea after all. I couldn't help but wonder what kind of programmer could afford fancy marble flooring, but as always, Ren remained a mystery to me. If this opportunity meant getting to know him better, maybe it'd be worth it. Snapping out of my thoughts, I look up at the glossy plastic and focus all my attention back to Ren. Seriously though, it wouldn't hurt to keep it. And it's a spare key anyway. I can always get more. I always have a stack of them at home. They're real handy too. I can use them to lock up my office and bedroom without a physical key. But I always end up misplacing them all, and so sorry, Angel, I'm rambling again. I don't want you to worry or anything. Wait, can we unlock that spare bedroom with our key? That'd be cool. Oh my god. Well, that sucks. I don't know if we'll ever get this opportunity again. Like, if we reject him prior to this point in time, are we gonna always get his key? And you never know what might happen. I've seen what's been on the news lately, and I just want you to be safe. He wants me to be safe? Where have I heard that before? Well, I suppose so. Great, then. He glances back at the plastic item in my hands with an expectant look, almost as if he was waiting for me to put it away. And when I carefully shove it into my pocket, Ren seemed to visibly relax and lean into his chair once more. Then that settles it. Come by whenever you want. You don't even need to call. Thanks. I think I'll still call him in advance, or even shoot a text. As lovely as Ren's welcoming hospitality was, I wouldn't want to disrupt or intrude on anything. As if picking up on my sudden silence, he clears his throat, gestures towards the food on the table, and scoops up a giant forkful. Anyway, we should finish this before it gets cold. Oh, yeah, you're right. Deciding to ease the tension once more, I speak the first thing that comes to mind as I stab my fork into the container as well. Enjoying the food? Can you pass the sauce? You've got some crumbs on your face. You look like a hamster. Oh, if we do the crumbs thing, we can maybe wipe them off his face, I think. Maybe? I don't know. You've got some crumbs on your face. Before I can stop myself, I reach out towards Ren's face and gently wipe away the crumbs from his cheek. My fingers brush against his bottom lip, and I can't help the slight tinge of pink that blooms on my cheeks. Ren seems to be sporting a similar look of his own before he awkwardly clears his throat and goes back to eating. Oh, thank you. That's hilarious. The casual banter continues throughout dinner, and soon enough, all the containers were empty and our stomachs were full. I dimmed the lights and switched the TV on at some point to fill the silence between our conversations, and soon enough, Ren and I find ourselves taking an interest in a movie that was currently playing. It was some unknown sappy rom-com that came out almost a decade ago, yet Ren didn't seem to mind all that much. I wasn't following the plot too keenly, but from what I could gather, the male lead just confessed his love for the main character in the back of her truck. To top it all off, it started raining as some slow, melodic love song came on the radio. The two characters were all too happy to share a sweet kiss with each other in that romantic moment, but the tenderness soon gets cut short once the scene starts to travel down a more heated path. The kisses become more passionate, and before I know it, I'm watching the main character lean across the center console to sit in her lover's lap instead. Clearly, I wasn't expecting this to happen in what I falsely believed was a harmless rom-com, so I dared to glance in Ren's direction to gauge his reaction. Yet aside from the faint dusting of pink on his cheeks, the rest of him seems all too relaxed. There's an arm casually thrown over the back of the couch while the rest of his body is slouched into the plushness of the seat. His lanky limbs are stretched out in front of him, while his thighs are spread out slightly, and the empty space between his legs was beginning to look inviting for some reason. Was it because of the movie? Before I can stop myself, I find my mind wandering. I guess we'll keep watching the movie. What was I thinking? This movie was clearly messing with my head. Subtly, I slap my cheeks and focus my attention back to the screen, the TV screen. No, I feel like changing it would be warranted if we're with friends. If it really is, like, that awkward. But it's Ren. The guy loves us. It's okay, it's fine. But every so often, my gaze flickers back to Ren to see if he was feeling just as awkward as I was throughout the scene, and it seems I was right. It's almost painful watching him awkwardly clear his throat a few times until his interest ultimately shifts towards my wall instead. I also feel the urge to look away once the couple starts to get even more handsy with each other, and when it starts to become too much to bear, I impulsively change the channel. A monotone voice droning on about the weather fills the silence, and I feel the couch move as Ren shifts in his seat. That was, yeah, they were really going at it, huh? Mm-hmm. Jeez, I can't believe it's somehow even more awkward now. But just as I'm about to do something about it, Ren awkwardly clears his throat and moves to stand up. It's getting a bit late now, isn't it? I should probably start heading home soon. Oh, are you sure? You can stay a bit longer. No, I should really go. Now that I think about it, you need to wake up early, don't you? Yeah, actually, but how did you know that? Oh, you seem like an early bird type. He easily could have said, I know you have a job. Don't you work? Like, unless you tell me otherwise, I'm assuming you gotta go to work. Especially if it's like a typical, like, Monday through Friday kind of job. Like, obviously, you work, it's the week. He doesn't seem to elaborate on that, and instead starts to pack up his belongings and heads towards the hallway. He's just really bad at, like, lying and coming up with things on the spot. Deciding that was that, I walked Ren towards the front door with a soft smile on my face. Today had been a lot of fun thanks to him, and I was able to keep my mind off the events that would ultimately transpire tomorrow. I was still unsure about Teo's intentions, but being with Ren helped me to understand that maybe it was wrong of me to judge others so quickly. At first, I thought Ren was just some shy guy with a stuttering problem. But over the course of a few days, I've learned there's more to him than just that. He had his moments of confidence, and it was endearing watching him stand up for the things that he wanted. Perhaps I was being a bit too harsh on Teo. Even he deserved a chance to redeem himself. I suppose I'll give him a chance tomorrow. Angel? So sorry? Crap, I really need to stop spacing out like that. I asked if you wanted me to lock the door for you. It's pretty cool that, like, that when we space out and have our inner monologue, life continues to move on. Because, like, if you watch Dexter without his inner monologue, it's awkward, and the characters are just staring at each other. So I appreciate how, like, realistic this game is being with that. Also, again, it's rare I really like visual novels, but I'm really liking this one so far. This one, and then that other one where we move to that town in Minnesota, and it's winter, and we meet that guy who's probably also a stalker. What the fuck is up with me and hot stalkers? That one's also really good, too. And I would hope that that game gets updated as well. I asked if you wanted me to lock the door for you. It suddenly hit me like a ton of bricks. I was still standing in the hallway while Ren was already waiting for me at the door, so I quickly rushed over to him with a flustered expression. Sorry, I was just busy thinking. I can lock it, thanks though. Haha, you do that a lot, it's cute. Ooh. I almost rolled my eyes at his words, and I leaned against the front door to watch Ren awkwardly shuffle on my doormat. Thanks for today, and I'm sorry for taking up so much of your time. Not at all, thanks for coming over. Get home safe, okay? Ren's eyes seemed to light up the moment I voiced my concern over him. Yeah, okay. I will. You too. Or, I mean, you're already at home, so go to bed safe, or sleep safe. Sleep well? What am I? I can't help but chuckle at his panicked state, and Ren seems to settle once he hears my laughter. Good night, Ren. Good night, Angel. I'll see you tomorrow. We don't have plans tomorrow. How is he gonna see us tomorrow? We don't have plans. Am I tripping? We don't have plans. Why would we see him tomorrow? The sound of the door shutting drowns out the ending of his sentence. Yeah! What the hell? What is up with that? Once I had nothing else left to do for the night, I get changed into some comfy pajamas and brush my teeth before settling into bed. The news chapter 4, Always With You, was going to drop in a few hours, and I figured I might as well stay up and read it before going to sleep. But my eyes were starting to get droopy, and all my mind could think about was the double date I had planned with Leon, Teo, and Eleanor tomorrow. It's not a double date. I didn't even know Leon was gonna be going. He said he could bring him. He didn't say that he officially was. So now it's all awkward. I kind of wish I said no, but it's okay. We're doing it for Eleanor. And Leon is a friend, so like, as long as that's established, it's okay. I'm just hanging out with my friends. Man, I sure hope everything will be fine. But I know worrying about it wasn't going to do me any favors, so I let my pent-up stress out on my pillow by smacking it to make it less lumpy. Though the moment I unceremoniously flopped back down, I noticed the cold draft and the fact that my bedroom window was left wide open. Strange, I don't remember opening it earlier. With a groan, I get up from my bed and go to close it, but once I lock it shut, something moves from within the shadows and startles me. Squinting, I can barely make out the black mass moving through the gaps in the fire escape balcony. What was that? A person? It certainly wouldn't be strange for someone to take a cigarette break at this hour, but I couldn't smell any telltale signs of smoke. Maybe it was my landlord's cat out for a leisurely midnight stroll? That idea seemed more realistic in my mind. Yet, despite my futile attempts at calming myself down, I still somehow found the willpower to go back to bed rather than opening the window once more and taking another curious peek outside. I didn't have a death wish, nor did I have the stupidity of those cliché horror film characters, but before I turn away, I double-check to make sure that the window is locked shut and the blinds are fully closed. I wasn't about to risk it. Happy with the precautions put in place, I make a hasty drive towards the warmth and safety of my bed. I snuggle deep within my blankets. I find it harder and harder to think about someone breaking in, and even more so with keeping my eyes open. Before I knew it, pink-colored sheets slowly fill my mind as I drift away. Very interesting. Yes, please save my progress. Well guys, I hope you all enjoyed day 3 of 14 days with you. As always, a link to this game will be in the description below, and I will see you on day 4. Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.